All right, ladies and gentlemen, from Poppy's shop today, we're going to do a video to supplement what's already on YouTube. I think several people have already done a fine job of showing how to change out the dash on the late 90s, early 2000s Dodge Ram pickup trucks. You know, the mysterious disappearing dash option that was included. It disintegrates before your eyes, bezel falls out onto your lap, and there's a company it's on the internet called LMC. They are phenomenal. Good prices, excellent speedy delivery, and a very good product. Remember that, LMC. I don't think nobody will be disappointed because their parts, their dash components, and any part you get from them is phenomenal. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's all I'll use. And let's walk through the welding shop right quick, and we'll go right in here to the bay. And again, this will be a short video, I hope, to supplement what's already been posted out there. Just to tell you what you might need, what you might encounter that's not covered in some of the other videos. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, as you tackle this job, don't be scared. It's not that bad. You'll need certain tools. You don't need nothing fancy. Maybe one or two what they call trim tools to help you pop some of the dash components and stuff loose. You can use your fingers, but it just helps to have a tool that's made for that. You'll need something like masking tape, painter's tape will help. I'll get to that in a minute. A phone that takes pictures or videos. You don't have to video the whole process. However, it helps to take pictures in case there's any questions when you're reversing the process. There's nothing wrong with that. And a container to put your parts in. Don't leave them laying around. And remember, there's some of these screws, especially in the dash, the majority of them are interchangeable. However, there are 5 screws, as I call them, across the front of the dash up against the windshield. They're not interchangeable. They may look like they are, but they're a little bit longer and they're critical. You don't want to swap those up, get them mixed up, don't want to lose them. As far as tools concerned, you're going to be using maybe a Phillips screwdriver quite a bit. I used a Bosch battery screwdriver and maybe a 10mm socket and a 7mm socket. And nothing fancy about this at all. So let's start off with safety. Chalk your wheels. There might be, you might need to put the vehicle in neutral, move the gear shifter down, or else drop it down into low range, but don't depend on your parking brake. Chalk your wheels front and back. Okay, and we're talking about safety. Let's disconnect the batteries. This job here that we just finished is a Dodge diesel 2002. It's got the Cummins diesel. It's got 2 batteries. You can see always, no matter whether it's a diesel, gas burner, remove your negatives first. Always remove the negatives first. And like I say, negatives, remove both. Then remove both positives. Why? You're going to be working around the airbags, especially the passenger side airbag. Once you remove these terminals, put them to where they can't touch. Okay, you don't want them touching the battery. You just never can tell what them funny little evil elves that come out of nowhere could do. Okay, the idea is again safety. So wait your, let's see, 30 minutes at least. You can wait an hour. That'll allow any stored residual electricity in your system to to get rid of or dispel of itself. And you don't want to be messing around with these airbags and something catastrophic happen like the airbag go off. But here we go. Here's some of the first little items that may not be covered in some of the videos. Unfortunately, your airbag on the passenger side is going to have to be removed to replace the dash. So let's address that first and just give you some pointers here. There's a strip across here. Of course, that's got to come off. Remember, this latch behind this decorative stitch is going to have to come off. And there are 3 10mm bolts behind this strip. They're associated with the airbag that's got to come out. Also, we're going to go up under here, and I don't know if many people show this or not on their videos, but there's 2 bolts under here that are 10mm. Let me find my finger. Okay. Right there. Okay, I'm sorry about that. There's one here, and there's one over here on this side to the left. You have to remove both of those, and that's the final for getting the airbag out. And that's where your trim tools, like for example, putting them behind here to pop them out, okay? Let's go to the kick plates down here, or kick panels. Passenger side there and the driver's side. You don't need a special tool to take those out. If you just play with them and manipulate them, they'll pop right out. Don't need to take anything else out. They'll pop out and they'll pop back in. But behind there's a bolt on each side. Don't take the bolt out, just loosen it enough, because the dash is connected to those bolts. And if you loosen them, it'll act as a hinge where the dash will fold back. Okay. Let's go over to the other side right quick. Let's go to the steering column. You're gonna have to take that plastic piece out from under the steering column anyway. And under here, there's a couple things you're gonna have to address. I'm gonna zoom up on this. You see this cable here? It goes in to here. It'll pop right out right here. If you look at it good with your shop light, you know, you can tell what I'm talking about. But pop it out, then take it off right here. You'll see where there's a little rod that comes out of the steering column. That cable connects to it. Pop it off, just let it drop. And I'll tell you why in just a second. Well, let's assume that you got all the little screws out from around the dash. Of course, you got the bezel out. What you want to do is take out the 5 screws that's right behind in there, out. Where the tape comes in, it's nice to use tape in a 7mm socket. It will help you hold on to those screws when you take them out and hold on to them when you put them in. You can use something else that's sticky, but you don't want to use something that's going to, you know, get on your new dash and mess it up. So I use preferably blue painter's tape. All right. Go back under the dash here, and remember there are 2 nuts under there, okay? You can locate them, but you don't want to mess with them now. Now, you want to remove these 5 across the dash, okay? Take them out. Then, this is where 2 people is nice to have somebody to hold the dash. And that's assuming you done pulled out all the little screws and stuff. And there's 2 nuts under here. You'll see them. They're 10mm. Remove those. And that will allow you to drop your steering column down to your seat. Be careful. Just let it gently drop on just to the seat. And then if everything's disconnected like it should be, your dash should kind of roll back. And then you can access, you know, up under the panel if there's anything that needs to be loosened or disconnected. It's the reverse procedure, putting everything back. There again, it's where a camera on a phone comes in handy. A couple of pointers to remember. You know, don't forget to hook your airbag back up, just like you found it. when you put your steering column back in place, it's best to have somebody to hold the dash in place, then put your steering column in place. It's more than likely it's not going to line up with the studs. So remember this, your steering column will, you can move it in or out just a little bit. Doing so will allow it to line up with them studs. Put them 2 10mm nuts on there. That'll help you hold it in place while you replace the screws across the front, the 5 screws, the longer ones. Okay, let's talk about hooking the batteries back up. Remember, let's go back. You got to hook up the positives first, then the negatives. Once that's done, and let's go back for a second. Hey, this stuff's loose. Clean it, and clean it good. If something needs to be replaced, a clamp or whatever, replace it then. Everything, every single wire that goes to one of these clamps, clean it. Replace it as necessary. It's critical to have good connections. Once you connect back, positive first, then negative. Some of the vehicles, like this one, this 2002 Dodge with the Cummins diesel, does not have an accelerator cable. It has a throttle position sensor on the injector pump. You have to recalibrate it after the battery's been disconnected. And that's as simple as insert the key, turn it to run, depress the accelerator pedal extremely slow all the way to the floorboard, release it slow, do it a second time. Once you're finished, cut the key off. You're ready to go. And now is the time to sit back and think about what else needs to be done. Make sure you tied up all loose ends. If you want to pull it out of the shop now, make sure all your tools are out of the way. Make sure your wheels, chocks are removed. Just remember safety, get everything out of the way. Make sure nobody's behind you. So don't let this challenge, and I'm not even going to call it a challenge. It's something that the novelist can do, in my honest opinion. Don't let it scare you. There's several good videos that are very good explaining how to do this. And I just wanted to add my little 2 cents to let you know what's the maybe the stuff that hadn't been covered in the videos. But if you got any questions, shoot me a comment. If I didn't cover everything like you wanted to, you can shoot a comment to me. I'll do my best to check this and get back with you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I hope this helps you in some way.